In today's episode, the day it rained indoors on a sunny day. Pluggable Clipboard. Where the hell is it? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. The day it rained indoors on a sunny day. Cast. Me, help desk whipping boy. CX, customer. CW, co-worker who knew his own limits and was a hoot. I was unfortunately actually on the floor selling products when this CX came in stating his PC was acting strange and wasn't running right when using Microsoft Word. My CW took it and made the ticket, and was explained it could take some time to diagnose the problem, and we'd reach out to him with the issue and cost for fix if could be done. Once I was done selling my soul helping my customer, I started working on the few computers we had in the back. When I saw the ticket, I figured I'd do a reset of Windows 10 on the computer and reinstall Office. He had an older version with a permanent license before the days of 365, so I was copying all the needed codes, and I did a backup. Technically we are supposed to charge for these, but screw corporate, I wanted to help the customer. Well, while doing the backup I noticed there wasn't really a whole lot, some tax documents, work files and pictures of their kid and them, so I just did an old copy paste to a USB rather than a full clone. Mid backup his hard drive failed. Well crap, at least I have some of the backup right. Wrong. A little panicked I hooked up his hard drive to our work desktop with a SATA to USB tool, and after much finagling I was able to get into the drive to run our clone/recovery tool to back up whatever files we could. Couldn't get much, but got most of the photos and a few files. So I called him, explained what happened, and he wanted to keep the laptop, so we swapped in a replacement HDD. We actually had one spare we were gonna chunk, had just done inventory, and rather than correct the totals my boss preferred the OL chunk and hope LP never noticed. Needless to say, chunk usually meant techs took turns taking extra merch home from pens to SSDs. So long as they were less than $100, anything was fair game after inventory. It just so happened this HDD was gonna go home with CW, but he didn't need it, and this way we could probably still skirt by having to charge the CX. So we replaced the hard drive, reinstalled everything, and put all his files into a folder labeled backup. We figured since it was a slow day behind the counter we wouldn't even charge him. We gave him a call, and when he got there I was explaining what we did, and showing him the few files we found, and mid-sentence he breaks down crying and bear hugged me in the middle of the store. I'm not really a hug guy, more of a pat on the back, but I was so taken back I just kinda froze, and when he released me, he explained that the photos of his son he thought were lost. He had passed away from cancer almost a year ago, and after their house fire they lost all their physical photos, and all of his stuff. Since they weren't very tech literate and couldn't find where they had saved them on the computer, they had effectively lost anything of him. He tried to pay us, we refused and called the checkout counter, and told them his money was no good, so he couldn't try to leave anything at the front for us either. The weather forecast called for a sunny day, but man, it was raining behind that counter, I swear. Pluggable Clipboard. This story happened in 2015, and is one of my most hilarious support cases. I worked in first-level support that day, and a team assistant, called TA in this text, called in on our support hotline. TA, can you please help me with my clipboard? I think it is broken. I can copy, but the paste drop-down stays disabled. Me, maybe there are some permissions missing to copy the files. Can you tell me the destination folder? TA, I don't think that this is the problem. I can create and edit files there. Nevertheless, I checked the permissions, of course. She was right. My first thoughts were that she really tried to solve it on her own, because without Googling she would not have used the term clipboard. Because she worked in the same building, I agreed to come over, get a coffee, and fix the problem. At her office I asked her to show me the problem. TA, look, I select this file, click with the right button on it, and choose copy. Everything okay so far. But then she plugged off her mouse from her computer, walked to another computer, plugged the mouse in, and right-clicked on an open folder. TA, see? Paste is disabled. In 2015, where clipboard history was not a thing in Windows, I laughed so hard I had to buy her a cupcake for atonement. She really thought that the clipboard was stored on her mouse, because she clicked it with the mouse. Where the hell is it? Back in the mid to late aughts, I would spend my day driving from client to client solving whatever ailed them. Primarily the 5 to 50 person office businesses, though there were many outliers. One day I got a call from a new client. They were a referral, as almost all my clients are, and I had never been there before. The issue was, and I quote, "Our network S**CKs." I arrive, and sure enough, their network does S**CK pings timeout, print jobs fail to arrive, the web will work, then not. They had a few dozen workstations spread throughout various rooms in their building, with an actual network closet. A completely unlabeled network closet. Everything in the network closet checks out, and after doing some due diligence, I figured there's got to be a rogue device in the network causing issues. So I start unplugging jacks. Eventually I find that unplugging a certain jack fixes the issue. Great. Now I just have to figure out where the hell in the building that line goes. Everyone had left, so I can't just walk around asking who lost connectivity. So I proceed to wander the building, mapping their entire network. After a whole lot of crawling around and sneezing, I discover the culprit. Somebody had plugged a cheap $20 hub from Best Buy into the network port in order to add a new printer to the network. Extending their network with a cheap hub instead of a switch caused their entire network to go down, and to pay me for hours to fix the issue. I replaced it with a new switch, and all was well with the world. The hub had worked for a while, but eventually the toll had to be paid. But they loved me after that, so it worked out for me.